Hi everyone, welcome back to the Code Street. This is Siddhant, and in today's video we will be trying to understand what actually pseudocodes are. So in the last two videos we tried to understand what actually flowcharts were. So the flowcharts video was made in a two parts video, and we did it with the help of live examples, and we also discussed some assignments as well. I hope that the assignments were successfully solved, but if not, and if you encountered any sort of difficulty in solving them, please do feel free to mention them down in the comment section below, and I will be more than happy to help. So apart from the flowchart section, I believe that the entire concept of how to make the use of symbols and how to write a flowchart is now clear to you after those two videos. So in today's video, we will be progressing forwards with the introductory session of C++, and we will be learning more about pseudocodes. Pseudocodes क्या होते हैं, कैसे हम यूज करते हैं, उनकी क्या कॉन्सेप्ट होती है, आज हम उसको पढ़ेंगे. But before that, let us learn a bit more about Newton School, जिनके साथ ये वीडियो कोलैबोरेशन में बनी हुई है. So, Newton School is actually an Edtech platform which promises you 100% placement, and they say that they will be guaranteeing you placement along with zero fee structure until you get placed. So, आप जब तक placed नहीं हो जाते, they will be charging you zero amount of fees, and they are doing it in collaboration with a number of companies. All these great companies who are working in a tie-up with Newton School can be easily seen on their platform, which is www.newtonschool.co. तो न्यूटन स्कूल के साथ ये सारी कंपनीज टाई अप में काम कर रही हैं. आप इनके कोर्सेज करोगे एंड दीज कंपनीज विल इन टर्न बी हायरिंग यू, and up until you are doing their course and you get placed with a minimum package of 5 lakh per annum, you will not be giving a single amount of money as fee for the course. Apart from this, Newton School has also started a number of courses which is done for various categories of receivers. अब वो ऑडियंस हमारे और तुम्हारी तरह एक स्टूडेंट हो सकती है, women who are starting away new in the field of tech, or even professionals, working professionals who are looking or finding a way to change their domains or finding a way to start new in the field of technology as well. So each and every category of people have their own personalized courses in the Newton platform. Even recently, Newton has started away with the Launchpad platform as well, under which they are giving away free courses. The Launchpad platform में अगर हम जाए Launchpad platform में, तो Newton is giving away free courses so that everyone can learn for free. So if you have programming languages to learn or new tech stack to develop or gain knowledge about new field of development as well, so everything is available under a single tab, and all of this is now available for free for everyone. So this is what goes on inside the Launchpad tab of Newton School. All you have to do is just go on to their website and enroll yourselves in any one of these courses and get started. So enough about Newton now. Let's get back to the course right away. तो आज की वीडियो में we will be trying to understand what actually pseudocodes are. So let us begin with the name of the topic, that is pseudocode. So what exactly pseudocode is, and how is it different from flowchart, and why do we say that flowchart and pseudocode are an integral part of the introductory sessions of C++? This is because neither flowchart nor pseudocode, ना ही flowchart ना ही pseudocode एक actual कोड का फॉर्मेशन होता है या फिर कोड का पार्ट होता है ना. C++ की कोड होती है, there is a code of C++. Neither a flowchart nor a pseudocode is actually a part of this code, but instead this is actually a way of expressing your ideology of solving a problem apart from coding it out, है ना. आपको एक प्रॉब्लम मिला, instead of coding it out and expressing your way of solving it or expressing your solution in the form of a code, you express the solution or your ideology or your algorithm in the form of a flowchart or in the form of a pseudocode. Clear enough? What is a flowchart and how it is supposed to work? ये हमने पिछले दो वीडियो में देखा. Now what is a pseudocode and how it is supposed to work? Let us find it out today. So flowchart can be defined मैं एकदम बुकिश लैंग्वेज नहीं बोल रहा हूँ. आई एम टेलिंग यू what actually in layman's term what actually flowchart is. So flowchart is supposed to be defined as a way of expressing your algorithm with the help of symbols, and pseudocode is a way of expressing your algorithm with the help of text. Clear? Now let me take an example and make the thing more clear. So the entire concept will be clearer once I take an example. For example, let us assume that the problem was write a program to print the sum of two numbers a and b. This is the very simple example. So what did we do when we had to write a flowchart? So when we had to write a flowchart, this is what we did. We start लिखते थे, connecting lines की इस्तेमाल करते थे. Then we used to take input, read A, read B, or if you want you can club these together into read A comma B, any way you wish. Then what was the next thing that we did? int s equals to 0. This is, if you remember, as I told you in the second video of flowchart, that in the first video of flowchart I have written it as int s equals to 0. If you want, you can still write it as int s without initializing it to 0. That can also be done. But क्योंकि हमने फर्स्ट वीडियो में ऐसे ही लिखा था int s equals to 0, मैं यहाँ पे भी वैसे ही लिखता हूँ int s equals to 0. There is no harm in doing it here. तो int s equals to 0 हम करते थे, and then what we used to do is we used to calculate the sum, that was s equals to a plus b, and then we knew that this was the output, so print s, and then we knew that this was supposed to be the end, and this is how the flowchart worked out. Now this is a way of representing the solution to a problem or the algorithm to solve a problem with the help of symbols and also a little bit of text, of course. Now how is a pseudocode supposed to work? A pseudocode is supposed to work by only the usage of text. ठीक है, तो text हम कैसे लेंगे? We know that we have to find the sum of two numbers a and b, right? So we will be writing number 1, read two numbers a and b from user. Next thing that we have to do is, after we have taken the two numbers a and b from the user, the next thing that we have to do is, since we have initialized s equals to s to 0 here, so we will be writing initialize sum to 0 as s equals to 0. Read two numbers a and b from user. In bracket you can also write int a comma b. Here you can write int s equals to 0. Third thing is that we have to calculate the sum, right? Calculate the sum s equals to a plus b. Print the sum. We're supposed to do it, we have to do it like this. Cout sum. Okay. Ab you will be telling that yeah, what is this cout? तो सी आउट क्या होता है, कैसे प्रिंटिंग होती है, दिस इज समथिंग दैट वी विल बी रीडिंग अहेड, नॉट राइट नाउ. तो सी आउट की कॉन्सेप्ट हम बाद में समझेंगे. इन द मीन टाइम जस्ट रिमेंबर दैट दिस इज हाउ यू आर सपोज टू राइट इट विद द हेल्प ऑफ टेक्स्ट ओनली. जो जो चीज़ें मैंने यहाँ पे ब्रैकेट में लिखी हैं दैट इज प्योरली ऑप्शनल, यू कैन और यू कैन नॉट राइट इट. देयर इज नो नीड कि वो कंपलसरी है, उसको लिखना ही है. इट इज़ नॉट अ थिंग दैट यू हैव टू राइट इट मैंडेटरीली. टेक्स्ट जो है दैट इज प्योरली मैंडेटरी, वो लिखना ही होगा. बट समथिंग विच इज रिटन इन द ब्रैकेट्स इस एग्जाम्पल में दैट इज प्योरली ऑप्शनल, you can or you cannot write it. Yeah, so that is it. So if you need, there is one more example that I can take. थोड़ा सा complex होगा. One thing that I can do is there is something problematic with the mouse. So the next example that we can take is what will be the next example that we can take? Very good example. That is to find the average of three numbers. What if we find the average of three numbers? उसके लिए pseudocode कैसे लिखेंगे? या फिर let us take a bit complex example. To find the sum of first n numbers, right? तो first n numbers जो थी हमारी first n numbers. Now what did we do? Can we again write the flowchart? Yes, we can write the flowchart. This is how we are supposed to write the flowchart. We can start it and first n numbers, right? So we have to take the number n from the user as input. Next thing that we have to do is that int s equals to 0 and I equals to 1. Now as I told you in the second video of flowchart, this I is actually the starting number of the range. Since we are dealing with a range here, since this 1 till n is a range of number, so I is the starting index. I is starting. मैं इस वीडियो में इंग्लिश ज़्यादा बोल रहा हूँ because I received a feedback in the last two videos कि I should be using English more because the audience is kind of facing difficulty in understanding Hindi a bit. So English ज़्यादा use कर रहा हूँ. Please do bear with it. So s equals to 0 हो रही है और I equals to 1 we will be using, and this is because I is 1. I equals to 1 is actually the starting index of the entire range of numbers. So if we are dealing with a range of around 1 to n, where suppose that n is equals to 5, so 1 2 3 4 and 5, this is supposed to be the range. So I is equals to this value. Cool. And then slowly, since we will be finding the sum, and sum की value जो है, the value of sum will be different at different intervals of this range. How is it supposed to be? S is equals to 0 plus 1 equals to 1 here. Here it will be 1 plus 2 equals to 3. Here it will be 3 plus 3 equals to 6. Here will be 10. Here will be 15. So since it is supposed to be like this, so we take s equals to 0 and I equals to 1. Cool. Now what will be the next thing that we will be doing is that we will be checking, right? And now what we will be checking is if this I is greater than n or not. Now if the starting number is actually greater than this number, the ending one, then if it is true, sorry, first and natural numbers. So if this is true, then we can directly print the sum, that is print sum, which is s. And if it is false, it means that it lies within that range. And what will happen each time is, each time sum will be equals to sum plus I will get incremented. Now what the hell is going on here? इसको रेफर करने के लिए you can watch my previous video flowchart part 2. वो वीडियो आप रेफर करो, उसमें क्लियरली पूरा मेंशन किया हुआ है इसकी वर्किंग क्या है. आई वोंट बी रिपीटिंग इट हियर. फॉल्स हुई तो यहाँ से यहाँ जाके पूरी ऐसी फ्लो चार्ट काम करेगी एंड देन इवेंचुअली वी विल बी एंडिंग दिस. राइट नाउ व्हाट आई विल डू इज I will just kind of delete this. Okay, so now how to write the pseudocode for the same. So we will be writing the pseudocode in a similar way. Always remember, pseudocode is a way of solving the algorithm with the help of text. Flowchart is a way of solving the algorithm with the help of symbols and a little bit of text. A major part of representing your algorithm here is symbol in flowchart. Like in flowchart, different symbols signify different meaning of your logic. And in pseudocode, the entire text that you write signifies the logic of your algorithm. Clear enough? So let us now start writing the pseudocode. Number 1 will be start. Let us assume. Second will be read number n from user. I am not writing that bracket wala portion here so that you don't get confused. Emphasizing majorly on the text portion here. Read a number n from user. अब हम यहाँ पे number n लेंगे user से. Next thing that we have to write is we have to initialize sum to 0 and the starting counter of the range to 1. Understand this entire word carefully. जो पूरा phrase है ना, initialize the sum to 0 and the starting counter of the range to 1. Understand it very carefully. So what we are doing here is we are initializing the sum to 0. That is pretty simple to understand. Now what is the starting counter of the range? So this range 1 2 3 4 5, starting of this range is 1 and the starting counter of this range is I. Now we are initializing this I to 1 and thus it is told that we are initializing the starting counter of this range to 1. Clear enough? Now let us see how we are going to progress. Check if I'm writing starting counter as SC. Please don't write it during the examinations and anywhere else. I'm writing it for the sake of convenience so that I can make the video a bit shorter. Check if the starting counter is greater than the number accepted from the user. If yes, print the sum. If no, calculate the sum. Increment the starting counter by 1. Increment this starting counter by 1. It is very necessary to mention increment करेंगे, but कितनी बार? एक बार, दो बार, तीन बार, 10 बार. It is very important to mention that we have to increment it by 1. Then repeat. This is a very important line. Just don't stop here. repeat 6 and 7 until I is greater than n. 9 end the program. आई बात समझ में? स्टेप नंबर 8 क्या हो रहा है? देखो 6 में इफ नो, हम अपन को क्या करना है, कैलकुलेट द सम, ठीक है? तो एक बार अपन कैलकुलेट किए सम को, फिर इंक्रीमेंट किए जो हमारी काउंटर है स्टार्टिंग काउंटर बाय 1, उसको इंक्रीमेंट कर दिया हमने, फिर वो वापस चेकिंग कंडीशन में जाएगा, राइट? तो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि अनटिल अनलेस वो फॉल्स आ रहा है हम बार बार ही काम करते चलेंगे कि सम को कैलकुलेट करेंगे, इंक्रीमेंट करेंगे. सो द एंटायर प्रोसेस ऑफ कैलकुलेटिंग द सम एंड इंक्रीमेंटिंग द स्टार्टिंग काउंटर गोज ऑन एंड ऑन until the starting counter is greater than the ending number, that is n. Okay, and this is a process which continues and we have to signify it, which is done in the step number 8, that we have to repeat step number 6 and 7 until and unless I is greater than n. If you did not understand this, please rewind the video and ध्यान से समझने की कोशिश करो मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ. ये पूरी प्रोसेस बार बार चलेगी, तो इसीलिए ये बात भी मेंशन करना इम्पोर्टेंट है. इट इज़ अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग दैट वी हैव टू मेंशन. And the 9th step is that we have to end the program. Ending of the program and step 1, starting of the program, is also an equally important step to mention in pseudocode. Okay, so as usual I will be giving you a few assignments to solve and I hope that you will be solving it. If you encounter any difficulty in understanding any concept, or if you encounter any difficulty in solving of the assignments, please do mention it down in the comment section below. It is really very important that you understand the initial concepts. So the first thing that we have to give is calculate, not calculate, find if an accepted number is prime or not. This is the first one that you have to write pseudocode. No need to write the flowchart, only pseudocode. And second one is calculate sum of even numbers. No, even numbers will be very easy. Calculate the sum of multiples of 2 between 1 to 10. Very simple, just write a pseudocode. And अगर बन गई कमेंट सेक्शन में yes लिख देना, सिर्फ yes लिख देना, और अगर नहीं बनी तो no लिखना और साथ में क्या प्रॉब्लम हुई वो भी बताना, ठीक है? If you could successfully solve it, please do write yes in the comment section, and if you cannot solve it, write no, and please do mention what is the problem that you faced while solving it. Till next time, we will be discussing, in the next video we will be discussing if you have got any problems with related to pseudocode, मैं उसको देखूंगा और उस पर separate video बनानी होगी, so I will be making it as well. And in the next video we will be starting off with the concept of pseudocode 2 if it is needed. I don't think it will be needed because pseudocode की बहुत basic examples ही होती हैं. It is not that important a topic in C++. It is just to start off with the foundations. So in the next topic we will be starting off with the basics of C++, that is the original coding portion. So next video mein we will be starting off with the coding part of C++, and yeah, so see you there in the next video, and up until then don't stop coding. Bye bye.